I thought that I wouldn't be talking about this anymore because I exhausted everything there was to say about the subject. I probably exhausted the viewer as well. But last night on a Romanian mainstream television network, there was an interview with one of the German workers, and he said the harrowing things that are happening on that asparagus plantation. And it's good that it's finally on television so that more Romanians are aware how they're going to be treated where they are going. Because I guarantee to you, very few people are aware. And even other Germans are probably unaware of what's going on, considering the fact that at one of these German farms, according to an interviewee, a source, they said that they're telling the workers if the cops are coming in to tell them that everything is fine, not to complain. And we're going to be talking a little bit about it. Now, I'm not complaining about the harsh working conditions. Like, I understand that they're going to work more than 8 hours a day. People do expect that when they travel abroad in order to work for money. I understand that they're going to be working in the rain. That is also understandable. Like it's part of the agricultural work. So I'm not going to complain that they're working through mud, they're working through harsh weather conditions, they're working more than 8 hours. Like these are things that are understandable. So we're going to complain about the things which aren't understandable, and it's a little bit shocking that this is happening in Germany, the country of no border activists, the virtue signaling twats, which always talk about how good it is for people from impoverished nations to go to richer nations, but they stop caring about how these people are treated once they got into the richer nations. So this is the system that they advocate. This is their perfect society, their perfect utopia, where the people in the richer nations have the people from the poorer nations being mistreated. And I'm saying mistreated that if you were to do this to German people, you would get a lawsuit. And the farm would probably be shut down. They wouldn't put up with this nonsense. But anyway, right, let's get it from the top. So, the Romanian government, which is also to blame, has shut down businesses in my country. It's very difficult to find a job right now. Unemployment is high. So people out of desperation, because they aren't allowed, it's not that they can't find, they aren't allowed to have jobs in my country. They have to go abroad. Now, the Romanian government allows people to do essential jobs during this time of crisis. And it seems that the German asparagus picking is an essential job. Again, the government has gotten almost dictatorial powers in order to protect people from the virus. But it seems that social distancing can resume after a commercial break because the government doesn't care if people, some of them coming from red zones, are being bussed around and stuffed in together at an airport and then flown all the way to Germany. So I question you, is it likely that one of these people are sick? Yes, it is very likely. If you are in an airplane with a person that is sick, is it going to get others sick? Yes, it is very likely because the air is being recirculated. So clearly, because of the Romanian government, some of these people have gotten sick. My opinion was that if the Romanian government doesn't care if people get sick, then open the fuck up the economy so people can find jobs in their own homes and in their own country without having to travel abroad for a couple of €1,000 and be treated the way these people are treated. So we're not talking about a normal capitalist circumstance, all right? The government has shut down businesses, so people are desperate and people are going to go in other countries in order to find a job. It's unacceptable. The second thing, when they arrive in Germany, they claim that they were quote-unquote quarantined. I saw Der Spiegel and other newspapers talking about the quarantine. The quarantine lasted a day. And the test that they got for the virus was a temperature test. Now, according to sources, some people were measured their temperature and actually had high temperatures. Some of them had 37.5 degrees. Others had all the way up to 38. What happened was that the guy in charge said, oh, you have 38. Oh, no, this is defective. You see, this thermometer is defective. Get me a new one. And then when he would get a new thermometer, instead of, placing it within the ear as per instruction, he would just hold it at a distance and say, oh, look, it's 36.8. Write that down. This guy is healthy. And they did that to several people. Apparently, another interesting thing is the way the contracts were signed, because I keep hearing a lot of people, it's like, well, they signed up the contract, they knew what they were going for. The contract was signed with a Romanian company, and it was done by the phone. Again, we're not talking about people with legal expertise. We're not talking about scholars. We're talking about simple people from rural villages that know how to farm. Okay, they know how to pick asparagus from the ground. They know how to plant seeds. They know how to take care of husbandry. That's what they know. They're not legal experts. I know it's not an excuse, but you need to understand the targeted audience for this, right? They're not going to go into the cities and try to get people to go to Germany. The targeted audience is simple people, simple folk that come from rural villages. And the company that was doing the hiring from Romania would call amongst these villagers in order to, hey, don't you want to go to Germany? You're going to make some good bucks. You have to pick up some asparagus. These people, again, simple folk, like, yeah, sure, I want to make some money. So they're told to send a copy of their ID to this company via post. And then they're told to go to the airport in Bucharest. And once at the airport is where they receive their contracts. Now, their contracts didn't even require their signature. Apparently, it was already signed by the Romanian hiring company. And on top of that, the moment they consented is the moment they sent their ID via mail. So it was a verbal agreement via phone by sending their ID via mail. Now, I'm pretty sure you can win a lawsuit if you were to do one. These people don't seem the wealthy folks in order to afford lawyers and to be able to press charges. So anyway, right, at the airport, they don't get to choose the company they work for. They don't get to choose where they go. They're all told, it's like you're going to board this plane and you're going to go into Germany. They're getting placed in a one-day quarantine. They check their temperature. According to them, even the people that have a fever are still fine to work. And then they're bussed around all the way to the company grounds. When they reach the company grounds, they are being housed in containment units. In one of these containers that houses at least 2 people per room, in some cases up to 4 or 5 people per room. 2 bathrooms, unisex, I guess gender neutral bathrooms for 30 people, men and women. And in some cases, as I mentioned previously, they have to pay for their own accommodations. So in other words, the company, the farm, which is not a hotel, is not in its business to house people, and it's only housing the workers. They are paying the worker minimum wage, and on top of that, they're making the worker pay for its own accommodation, so that this is a legal loophole where the company can pay the worker below minimum wage. No German would accept that. In fact, if they were to hire Germans, what would Germans do? They would go, they would work, and they would return back home. They wouldn't use the accommodations, meaning that the company would lose money, because no one else is coming there in order to sleep in their bunker houses. Let's get real with this, right? It's only for the workers that come to work, they're paid minimum wage, and they're told, oh yeah, you're going to sleep here. Why not make them charge for their own tools while you're at it? Like, go full Qatar. They should pay for their own tools, shouldn't they? And for the water and the fact that you're cleaning their waste. They should pay for that too. It's like a Disneyland, right? When you go to that farm. You're not going there to pick their asparagus. You're going there primarily to use their beautiful facilities. Anyway, that's still not the point. Alright? Like this is normal. It's happening a lot of the times through a lot of these companies throughout Europe. This isn't the issue. The issue is that now this isn't a normal time. We're during a pandemic. So the companies are taking full advantage of that because they know how desperate people are. Why are people desperate? Well, apparently some of them have claimed that they gotten sick. So the company just kicked them out. Like literally, they got the bodyguards to take the person and kick them out of the gates of the facility and close the gates behind them. There's no trains. They cannot return back to their own country. They haven't been paid even for the work that they have done. At least this is what they claim, right? So everything here is what the person claimed on television. Maybe he's lying. How can you know? We don't know, because there's not going to be an investigation, because this is why they take foreigners. that barely speak the language, that do not know the German legislation, and that they're fucking penniless. They don't have money to hire a lawyer and sue. But this is the world the no border activists love. This is who they serve. This is their massa. Their massa is the company that is able to do these things. And then they say, oh, Germans are too lazy to do these jobs. Yeah, no fucking shit that they're lazy to work 14, 16 hours a day. Being awakened during the middle of the night, 1 a.m., 3 a.m. Yeah, they are lazy to be paid below minimum wage after working 14 hours a day. And not to mention, they would probably sue. I'm pretty much sure that you're supposed to pay people extra hours if you make them work on Sunday. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to pay people extra hours if you make them work more than 8 hours. But they don't have to, because why? These are immigrants that barely speak the language, don't have any money or connections within Germany, and they can't fight you legally. And you're going to win no matter how much you abuse them. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to at least give them water. And I'm pretty sure that if one of them gets sick, you're supposed to give them a doctor. Apparently, many of them keep getting sick. Many of them collapse in the field, according to the eyewitness reports. And what happens when they collapse on the field? They take them to the barrack. None of them even saw a doctor. There are people crying, saying they want to go back home. You know what's even funny, like, about the Romanian government, which facilitated these people to go to Germany? It's like, one of the people there have said it very accurately. If I have a dog and I send my dog to a friend, I would at least give my friend a contact number to call me if he can't keep the dog anymore and he wants to return it. But apparently for these people, none of the arrangements were made to what happens if one of them doesn't want to work or gets fired. Like, literally, like, yeah, okay, one of them has an accident. He can't work, so he needs to come back into the country. How can he come back? He can't. The trains are stopped. It's a pandemic. I don't even know if planes are flying right now from Germany to Romania. There's probably limited flights, right? What does he do if the flight is Friday and today is Monday? Where does he stand? What does he do? There are no plans for these people. And again, like, you need to understand, this is not a normal time. This is during a pandemic where in Romania you cannot find businesses. And by the way, the future that the open border activists want is so that Romania doesn't have any farm work for the farmhands. We have our own farmers here. They cannot find farm work. They have been complaining about this year after year after year. And of course they can't find, because what is more likely? A person to take a plane, go to Germany to make 1,000 or 2,000 euros, or be paid less than 100 euros by a Romanian farmer. The Romanian farmer isn't greedy. It's not that he's hoarding the wealth and doesn't want the worker to... He doesn't have money himself. Like, if you see in the amounts of poverty that Romanian farmers are living under, you'd understand. And in order for them to expand, in order for them to grow, in order for them to be able to flourish, well, they would have to first start getting farmhands. And yes, the first generation would be paid minimum wages. But then as time goes on, they would be paid more and more as the farmer grows and he can expand his business. And maybe one day we can get Ukrainians and mistreat them like Germans treat Romania. You know, one can only hope. The no border activists, huh? Maybe get some Vietnamese or something. It is absolutely disgusting. You know, and my main concern is that one eyewitness account did say, it's like, oh yes, if the cops come here, tell them everything is fine. They called the Romanian company, by the way, the one that did the contracts for them. Do you know what they said? They said, get back to work. And right now they're not even answering the phone calls. Now, I personally were to hope that some investigation would be launched into this Romanian company. But I have a strong feeling there might be some nepotism with people in power. And, you know, they might know each other. Some bribes might have been exchanged. I think this company is going to be protected. But I hope that the television would at least give the name of this company so other people can avoid it in the future. Because that's the thing, most people don't know. Most people do not know how they're going to be treated when they get there. Most people do not know the fact that they can't even choose their employer when they get there. Because, you know, like, maybe I go to pick asparagus or I go to pick fruits. And some guy is really nasty. And I'm like, okay, fuck you then, I'm going to go to someone else. Well, I can't really do that now, right? Because I understand the trains aren't working, according to this guy. But still, right, this is not normal. I think that if they would do this to German people, and by the way, this idea German people are lazy. I understand that Germany had millions of immigrants right now, right? Is Ahmed and Abdul also lazy? Like, I understand, you know, like, okay, German people are lazy, but there were newcomers coming in. Did they assimilate into Germany so fast that the laziness has went into them? And there were people coming from another continent into Germany. When do you get lazy? Is it like the moment you are born or the moment you step into Germany? What about the Romanians that got German citizenship during this time? Because there were quite a couple during the last few years. Are they also lazy? Is everyone in Germany lazy? Or is it that they do not, like the companies, it's not that they do not want, because I actually know German people that legitimately wanted to go and find a job at these farms. And by the way, not all farms are bad. Usually, like, if you find a farmer, like a legitimate, you know, guy that is on the field and is there with the workers, like he's got a smaller farm, yeah, it's going to be a nice dude, probably. But if you find a corporation, you're fucked. And it's these corporations that would not hire German people because A, they don't want to know what goes beyond their gates, and B, they would get lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit, and C, most importantly, they would lose money. It's like, oh, you're not going to use their beautiful accommodations. You're not going to pay for their wonderful, luxurious containers and the very delicious food that they provide, because I'm pretty sure that is the main purpose why these workers went on the fields, to be the connoisseurs. Anyway, right. I'm getting a little upset. But yeah, no, I just wanted you to know the world that the no border activists want. This is why they want immigrants into richer nations. All right. It's so that they can feed these companies. And I have a lot of respect for Destiny, to be honest. No, seriously, like at least Destiny is outright saying that he gets cheaper iPhones. Yeah, you get cheaper asparagus. Yeah, you get cheaper asparagus. Yeah, that's true. And you know what's annoying? It's like the asparagus isn't even a necessity, in my opinion. Like, it's not like potatoes that can feed a vast amount of people, or grain. No, it's a fucking plant that you also need 2 liters of sauce on in order to enjoy it, because it tastes so horrible. So you need to pour that sauce on it. Pour the sauce. Yeah, this is what people are slaving for. Absolutely horrible. I hope, again, that more people find out about this. And I hope investigations are going to be done. You know, maybe there's going to be investigations. They're going to be, no, these Romanian people, they're really lazy. They don't want to work. And there's absolutely nothing wrong going on these farms. It's like, oh, every single law within the workers' code is being followed. Literally, to the letter. There is absolutely no problem. Like, no, this is normal. This is exactly what they signed for. They signed their own contract. You know, there's no shenanigans going on. Oh, well, I was wrong. But looking at what I see in the media, I don't think I'm wrong. And I think there is a reason that these people keep preferring to hire foreigners that can barely speak the language than hiring local people. Which might happen, like if you hire 1,000 local people, well, one of them might have a relative that's a lawyer. Might have someone that knows someone that can help. Heaven forbid they unionize. In Germany. Antifa land, huh? Anyway, right, let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the comment section, and feel free to use this as arguments whenever you see people that legitimately are asking for serfs.